The bombing of Pearl Harbor, a day that will live in infamy. By Sawyer Seville. On the morning of December 7th, 1941, everything was calm and at peace on the naval base of Pearl Harbor on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. Pearl Harbor was a very important base in the American naval fleet because it and the naval bases in the Philippines were the only naval bases in the Pacific, which were very important, especially with the looming threat of the Japanese Empire to the east. Then, at 7:53 a.m., the sound of planes began to grow louder on the base, and suddenly, Japanese fighter planes filled the sky. Over 400 Japanese Mitsubishi A-6M planes began bombing and dive bombing the U.S. fleet ships below. The Japanese attackers also had 23 fleet submarines and 5 midget submarines, shooting torpedoes at the naval ships from under the water as well. The attack lasted for nearly 2 hours and left the charred remains of the once powerful naval base in its wake. The total casualties for the base was 2,403 people dead, 188 planes destroyed, and a crippled Pacific fleet that included 8 damaged or destroyed battleships. To this day, the attack on Pearl Harbor is still considered one of the deadliest attacks that the United States has ever seen. The attack came as a profound shock to the American people, and why wouldn't it? Nobody expected that attack to happen, and then it led directly to the American entry into World War II in both the Pacific and European theaters. The following day, December 8th, the United States declared war on Japan. Domestic support for non-interventionism, which were people who supported the United States not getting involved with World War II, which had been strong, disappeared after the attack. People felt a sense of anger and thirst for revenge for the destruction and loss of life at Pearl Harbor.
Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at peace with that nation, and at the solicitation of Japan, was still in conversation with its government and its emperor, looking toward the maintenance of peace in the Pacific. Indeed, 1 hour after Japanese air squadrons had commenced bombing in the American island of Oahu, the Japanese ambassador to the United States and his colleague delivered to our Secretary of State a formal reply to a recent American message. Japan has therefore undertaken a surprise offensive extending throughout the Pacific area. The facts of yesterday and today speak for themselves. No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory.
Pearl Harbor is one of the most destructive events in our country's history. The repercussions from the attack were felt long after the last Japanese plane flew away that day and launched our country into the strong, passionate warfare of World War II.